The law of cosines. The law of cosine states, for any triangle ABC, the law of cosine relates the cosine of each angle to the side lengths of the triangle. So a squared is equal to b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine a. And ABC, they don't matter whose length is which. It's all about which angle you're looking for. So if I'm looking for angle A, then I need to have the side opposite A, and I need to have B and C so I can fill in this formula. So here I'm going to be looking for a side length B. This is 44 degrees. And I can just simply plug this into the formula and find out what B is. So this would be B squared equals 10 squared plus 22 squared minus 2 times 10 times 22 times the cosine of 44. And then I'm just going to put all of that in my calculator, and I'm going to get an answer which is going to be 10 squared plus 22 squared minus 2 times 10 times 22 times 44 cosine, which is 267.49 blah blah blah, and then I'm going to take the square root of that, and I'm going to get that B equals 16.4 because I'm doing it to one decimal place. Okay, looking at the next problem, I'm going to find the side length x. So I'm going to set up my equation. It's going to be the x squared is equal to 48 squared plus 29 squared minus 2 times 48 times 29 times the cosine of 104. And then I'm going to plug all that in my calculator. Squared plus 29 squared minus 2 times 48 times 29 times 104 cosine equals 3,818.5105 whatever, and then I'm going to take the square root of both sides, and that's going to give me that x is equal to 61.8. Okay, now I would like you to try. So I'm sorry, you didn't even see any of that work. So I put all these numbers in. So x squared equals 48 squared plus 29 squared minus 2 times this times this times the cosine of that. It gives me x squared equals this number, and then x is equal to this once I take the square root. Okay, now I'd like you to try. Do that one. Okay, did you get that x is equal to 23.2? If not, we should probably talk, so flag me. Let me know that you didn't get that. Put a sad face next to it or something. Okay, now, we can actually use this, for the other problems you could use the law of sine, but for this problem right here, I'm actually going to need to use the law of cosines, because there's no angles given. So with no angles given and only the sides in a non-right triangle, I am going to be able to use them to find the measure of the angle. And again, I'm going to do the same thing that I've done. So measure of angle V is the one I'm looking for, so I'm going to call it x. Okay, so then I always square the side opposite. So 4.4 squared equals 6.7 squared plus 7.1 squared minus 2 times 6.7 times 7.1 times the cosine of x. Then I'm going to simplify all of that. That's going to give me 19.36 equals 95.5844 minus 95.414 cosine of x. Then I'm going to move that over. That's going to give me a negative 76.2244 is equal to negative 95.14 cosine of x. Then I'm going to divide by that. That's going to make that go away. I'm going to get that the cosine of x equals 118. And then I'm going to take the second cosine of that, and I'm going to get that x is equal to 36.8 degrees. 36.8 degrees. Okay, now I want to find the measure of angle T. Well, so I'm just going to call that y. And I'm going to put all this information in here. I'm going to have 7, so the side opposite the angle is the one I start with, so it's 7.1 squared equals, and again I'm following the formula, so 7.1 squared equals the square of the other two sides, the sum of the other two sides, so 4.4 squared plus 6.7 squared minus 2 times the other two sides times the cosine of the angle opposite times the cosine of y. And moving everything over, I'm going to have, or multiplying everything out, is going to give me a cosine of y here, and then I'm going to move this over. That's going to give me negative 13.84 is equal to negative 58.96 cosine of y squared, cosine of y. And then I'm going to divide this by negative 58.96. Those are going to become positive, and that's going to give me cosine of y is equal to 0.2347. Taking the inverse cosine, I'm going to get that y equals 76.4 degrees. Okay? So again, just plug this stuff in, give this one a shot, refer back to the formula right here. Remember that you plug the number in for the side opposite the angle that you're working at to start with. Pause and give it a shot. Did you get that F is equal to 62.2? Okay. If not, you should probably let me know. Okay, our next problem is going to take a little bit of a picture, so we want to make sure we do our best to draw this in. So, an air traffic controller is tracking a plane 2.1 kilometers due south of the radar tower. So, here's my radar tower. Okay, and the plane is due south. That's plane A. Wow. Really having problems with pins right now. plane A. This is the tower. And then a second plane is located 3.5 kilometers from the tower at a heading of north 75 degrees east, which is 75 degrees east of north. So if I keep drawing in my line right here, continuing up this path, right? 75 degrees east of north is this direction. So I'm going this way. So my angle of my path is going to look like this. So that is 75 degrees right here. I'm 75 degrees of north. And then I have another plane over here. This is plane B. And it is 3.5 kilometers from the tower. And the question is, how far apart are lanes? So I'm looking for this distance right here. Okay, so, and this is 2.1 kilometers. The first plane was 2.1 kilometers from the tower. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and use my law of cosines. I know that this is 75 degrees, which makes this one 105 degrees. I have a side and an opposite side of the angle, so I'm good. I need to find this one. So I'm going to have x squared is equal to 2.1 squared plus 2.5 squared minus 2 times 2.1 times 3.5 times the cosine of 105. Then I'm going to simplify all of that. X squared is going to equal 2.1 squared plus 3.5 squared minus 2 times 2.1 times 3.5 times 105 cosine. So x squared is 20.4646, and I'm going to take the square root of that. So x is 4.5. So it's 4.5 kilometers apart from each other. Okay? Alrighty, you give this one a try. We're going to start class with that. So that's how the law of cosines works. See you in class.